Alright, welcome back. We are finally back into the bracket stages out of group play, and we're going to be bringing you the beginning of the lower brackets. This one's going to be Team Coralice, who's going to be our blue team, versus Team Pilot, who will be our purple/red team. Once we hop in there, and again, this is the beauty of the format. You know, we had 8 teams that jumped into that top tier bracket. You know, all those diamond players get to play against each other. Now we're going to get to put the silver and gold players together in a bracket to get to play for something a little bit too.
Well, this is great. I'm really digging the format so far. I got a chance to meet with the operations team, I guess, running at first I was questioning. I was like, man, we're really gonna run 2 tournaments in one day. You know, how are we gonna do this? How's it gonna set up with 5 groups? But it made a lot of sense. I helped them put that together and finalize the brackets with the use of the tiebreakers. It wasn't that hard, but we do get a chance to start off with the lower bracket. And right now, you and I's favorite judgment MVP,
yes, indeed,
potentially, Intimate Bedtime is going to be team captain here for, I think it was Coralice, yeah, and, it's a funny story. We showed up last night. We showed up at the venue just to check it out before we got a chance to set up, and there was a random guy playing League of Legends, and you looked at his screen, and next thing you know, he's playing against Intimate Bedtime, and they're playing in their group stage match last night.
Yep.
So you're like, Highwind, and you came over and I was like, dude, this guy's playing against Intimate Bedtime. They're like, what? So we all huddled around there, and we kind of felt weird and creepy in a way, because like there was a couple of guys watching the match. They're like, man, who are these 2 white dudes?
Just showed up and crowded them.
So it was cool. They ended up winning that first round of the group stage.
Yep.
I think overall, they ended up 2-1 out of group stage.
Yeah.
And being part of Group E, that automatically put them in the
lower bracket.
The lower bracket. So should be interesting. I think he's going to play Carry. He played Vayne last night. I'm not sure what else he's been playing.
Which is abandoned here. They've done their research.
They've done their research. It should be interesting. And then, speaking of the bands, we've got Lux, Caitlyn, Vi, Vayne, Shin, and Elise. The Vayne might be a target ban. I'm not sure about Lux. I think she's pretty strong right now, but I don't know. I think there's ways in which you can deal with her.
Yeah,
she could possibly be a target ban. The Caitlyn ban seems interesting. This, you get 2 carries ban.
Yeah.
I guess they really wanted to get rid of some of that poke components that you would find from maybe the 80 in the bot lane, as well as possibly the mid lane poke. And then the Vi ban, which means they probably want to go potentially assassin heavy, or they want to, maybe they don't want to build a real strong front line. Vi's really good at jumping into that back line, so maybe they're just afraid of that strong early to mid game gank potential that Vi brings to the table.
And like a lot of pick selections go, Tarek locked in right away off the bat. Going to be followed, looks like, by a Kali J4, but on the other side, definitely the old tried and true poke with between Soda and Ezreal. And again, Ezreal, the cool thing about Ezreal that not a lot of people talk about that he really brings to a team, as well as that actually Draven kind of does this too as well, is really just like when you get into that mid-late game stage, the fact that he actually uses True Shot Barrage just to actually push lanes while not actually having to be there actually becomes a huge factor for certain comps or teams that actually don't have the tools to deal with it themselves. So we'll see if that actually becomes a factor later on in the game. But a little bit like hearing about the Vayne pick obviously seems very targeted. I think at this level we typically see more targeted bans from teams as they kind of do a little research in their histories. And then on the other side, Caitlyn is just more of like, I don't want you to play the easy AD carry, and I want you to be a little bit uncomfortable, maybe play something new. Looks like they're going to follow us up with Cho'Gath and Zhao. And Cho'Gath, they'll probably put him, I'm guessing they might put him just mid, just to basically stall out whatever lane he gets into. Once he hits 6, he's basically unkillable. And once you get that mid game, he's a huge beefy tank you can use to dive turrets and have a bunch of crowd CC.
Yeah, at first they started off with the Soda Ezreal, gave them a little bit of mobility, gave them a little bit of AOECC, that little bit of global presence for farming, as you said earlier. It's great because I think, whenever you're running, whenever you see Jarvan on the other team, first off, I think Jarvan's a potentially bannable champion in the current meta. But then you want to probably pick champions that aren't going to get locked up in Cataclysm, because Cataclysm has such an impact in those mid to late game team fights where if your flash is down or you have no way to escape Cataclysm, you kind of have a sit and duck. So, it's funny that they picked Jarvan after an Ezreal pick. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Jarvan's still that strong. But to follow up with a Cho'Gath and or Zen, we'll have to see because, again, Cho'Gath, I mean, he is going to be tanky. You don't want to force a whole lot of resources into him, but if you can get on him early, he's not going to have a whole lot of ways to get out of Cataclysm if you've got the damage to deal with him.
Death by 1,000 cuts, so I like to call it. That's pretty much what happens to Cho'Gath. He's like, he goes in there, does his cooldowns, and then you just throw your a million hits at him, and he eventually dies down, which is kind of his fault later on in team comps.
And Zen, he's an all-in style jungle bruiser, similar to Vi. Where once you're in, you're kind of in, you're not really getting out, but he's got the displacement effect of his ult, which is really strong for setting up team fights or using it to disengage. So we'll see. I think it's when it comes to a battle of the junglers, I mean, I think these are pretty much the top tier bruisers that we've seen a lot in the meta. Hecarim was not picked or banned, soon to be nerfed, but Hecarim not a factor in this game. I think Hecarim would have been a good choice by either team. But right now, I think we're gonna roll here, and I mean that could be a Cho'Gath top and a Morgana mid. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna be Cho'Gath top.
So we're going old school, Morgana mid.
I haven't seen Morgana in a while. Actually, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. Like Morgana support actually almost a little bit favorable in a lot of matchups too, and almost a better role for her now at this point because they have they have some decent like beef and tankiness in there, but I feel like it could be a little bit trouble for them. But on the other side, my name is Jackie. He's picking up this Vlad, who I think works really good in a lot of teams with his damage buff, and I know it's a champion that he's really, really comfortable with, and I think unless he gets banned out, we're probably going to see Vlad up in that top lane pretty much just constantly, at least from Intimate Bedtime. If we see them advance further on in this turn, we can actually reveal the summoner spells right there. Nothing too crazy, no big teleports coming in from any of the lanes. We're not going to see any big rotation advantages that way, which I kind of would like to see, at least from some of these teams, just because I think at this level, if you have teleport or global abilities, map awareness is kind of at just not really there for a lot of teams at this level, so you can kind of take advantage of people. I know I fall victim to it quite a bit, when I just kind of forget that, Raiseman has teleport and then he comes in on me, or, we've seen previously in tournaments, at least at ECL, Darius coming to bot lane, if you have a really heavy pushing lane, if you have a Taric Tristana and your Taric's, explosive shotting kind of pushing towards the turret, you place an early ward in that early brush, they don't notice it, you teleport someone behind, next thing you know, but, that's not going to be a factor in this game. So they're just going to play it straight.
I know, we missed up opportunities for, I guess Vlad's probably not taking teleport, but you get the teleport to the Jarvan standard, so...
Yeah, that's a common one. Actually, heard about the, when we were at ECL, we were hearing tales of you basically cast the teleport right as the flag standard's about to go away, and you can barely see the start of the teleport, and then when the flag disappears, you don't see the teleport, and then someone just appears behind you. And unless you're really paying attention, you can have someone just appear right behind you, and you're like, oh, like he didn't engage. We're fine. We're fine here. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, someone pops in behind you.
I also noticed we're not seeing a lot of Thresh lately. I wonder if maybe Thresh is not as strong up here in the support format. Actually, with me at my side is Roshan now, and you know what? He's probably one of the best supports here in Canada, all of North America. He could probably give us some insight as to why we haven't seen any Thresh. So, Roshan, why haven't we seen any Thresh?
I think he's generally just really squishy, and like for someone who's just gonna go in like that because his Q allows him to, he's just too squishy to do the job. But he does have a lot of potential, but he's more of a Janna passive support, but played as a Morgana support, or Zyra, or Sona. Kind of.
Fair enough. And one more comment from the guy says that there's a skill ceiling to deal with. So, I guess one more question since I've got Roshan here before we hop into this game. Are we going to see this support Morgana?
My AD carry has problems like playing with it, so I don't think so.
Alright, so you've heard it here first. We don't have to worry about potential support Morgana.
Unless it's misdirection.
Especially if they've got Vi on the other team. Morgana just hard counters Vi.
Bait him into it.
But we are going to hop into this match. Paddo, what do you see for us in this match? How do you see these lanes breaking down? What do you think each team may get an advantage or lose an advantage?
I think the pilot team is a really tanky, beefy team that if they can actually stay like decently ahead and come into the mid game, they might be pretty strong. But I just have an inkling that the Coralice team, if they can get some of their key lanes, as they actually you see, intimate bedtime, they're studs at least. If you're looking at Bordeaux here, are all in those carry roles. If they can start to get ahead, it could be a lot of trouble for their lanes. They can get shut down pretty hard.
Alright, not to dog on my buddy Intimate Bedtime, because we're best friends. I showed up to the event, he jumped up, gave me a gigantic bear hug, but I'm still not sure how he got platinum.
There's obviously some cheating going on.
Just kidding. It was, he's probably going to show me up. He's going to do so well in this match against Ezreal Stone Lane that, you know what, maybe there won't be any questions in my mind after this.
And it should be a good game, because before what we were kind of seeing was the way the group stages were set up. The even games were kind of played on Friday night or Saturday night, and then when we got into today, it was kind of more like who can race down their opponent the fastest and who can defend the longest. Was more of those games. So this game should be more even as we move into this lower bracket. Should be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I think right now Jarvan's set up to snowball either mid or bot lane at any point in time. You'll probably leave Vlad alone in top, which is great. If you got a top laner that you feel very confident that they can either win their lane straight up or maybe possibly break even, allows you to make plays in other lanes. It's usually a pretty solid feeling. I know a lot of my jungling jungle ganks depend on lane matchups and where I think I can get the best snowball. So if I'm rocking a Darius top lane, or if I'm rocking, if my team's rocking someone strong that I have a potential to snowball up top, for example, Akali. If I have a way to snowball Akali, I may do that. Ultimately, though, I also look at it in reverse side. Let's say I'm running, my team's running a TF mid. TF's not a very safe mid pick, especially early in levels. So I may expect the enemy jungler to, potentially set up ganks mid. That I may just be there to counter gank, and also possibly, maybe I'll buy an early ward for one side of the mid lane, and then and then hopefully my mid lane's also playing safe enough that he doesn't have to really focus on. Just staying back and being ganked.
Showdown thrown around here. Might check. We'll see here. Actually, just cruising by, but it looks like the rest of the team setting up here to possibly invade on red, waiting on this brush right now. Although they might just play defensively here. But Cho'Gath running top. Don't want him to be late. It looks like mainly just defensive setups right here. But no early wards and any buffs going down. So neither one of those teams just wants to be careful. We could see invades go down here. Cho'Gath's just on the patrol, but for the most part, nothing too crazy going on.
Could be a delayed red invade, possibly.
Yeah, we'll see. And the pings are going down, so I think actually we might see the invade here. And yeah, it is going to be at least a 4-man invade on this red. They're going to poke in there. We'll see if the AD and support actually run up here.
And ward placements. Well, the best choice, but they should be able to pick off a red here. We're going to see. We're going to see a little bit late to lane. We're going to see blue team picking up golems. It's the best thing you can do if you're starting blue side and you're going to be in the bot lane. Just go ahead and get up that early experience, because it looks like when you're running Tristan and Taric, you can play super aggressive. You're going to have the hard CC. So if you get a level advantage,
they're pushed up. No ward and Tri-Brush and Intimate Bedtime.
Oh no!
Kioma might be in a little bit of trouble here, and here we go. See Zinzao coming first. Try to go there, but the pick's a nice little dazzle in there. Really quickly done.
I think Santa may have stepped out there a little too early and may have wanted to say maybe a little too excited about that gang.
Yeah, sometimes when we see that kill on the line, you get really hungry right there. And we'll see. Yeah, Cho'Gath actually early level advantage, at least early, but just pushing these waves back and forth. J4 actually in the enemy's red, so he actually must have had some spires as a tingler. Actually, they saw him come down the bot lane, so he said, alright, you know what, I saw him bot lane, I'm going to go steal his red, keep even with Zinzao, and so nice actually play by their jungler.
He actually should be ahead because Zen went ahead and skipped his own blue. He's going to go check red first, and is now just going to fall even further behind because he's going to realize that red, once he checks red, he's going to realize that's missing. J4 already going to hit level 3. He's going to have double buff. Those buffs are going to be up sooner. On the respawn.
Actually looks like he's hanging around mid, although the problem is that Vlad also can just take pool early if he was really in trouble, and actually just turns around on him. I don't think that was very big, a very good gank look for him. And like you said, he was already going to be a little bit behind, and now that gank time is just going to put him a little bit farther behind. As we see J4 already wrapping back around his own jungle and farming up right now pretty well. Again, there's that big pushing lane right now happening from Intimate Bedtime and Hwin right now, just pushing pretty hard to push him under turret. We'll see actually how that matchup goes on. The CS goes on further. If Ezreal actually, is good at lasting under turret, if he has a hard time against it, could just be a nice little advantage to that bot lane until we do see something come down there. But we also see they're protected very well by these wards in river, so nothing to be able to cross that river without them seeing it unless they actually try to come up lane.
And we're going to see Vlad kind of be a bully. This is pretty typical of a Vladimir, especially to Morgana, because Morgana just passively wants to farm and throw in its soil. So what, Vlad actually has an advantage in this lane matchup. He can go ahead and shove the lanes, and Morgana is happy to sit back on Tormented Soil, but there's no real opportunity for her to really win that lane. It's just kind of a tie, and eventually Vlad is going to outscale Morgana, and we're going to see Vlad really pushing that and potentially getting out of lanes to make plays in either top or bot.
Yeah, both take a little time to wind up, but Morgana's pushing power, again, like you said, pointed out, it takes time to wind up there. And really all he has to do is dodge Dark Bindings, and he's pretty much set, can go in there, harass, and be fairly safe. And since Xin Zhao, he already saw the miss gank from Xin Zhao, he already knows that Xin Zhao's behind, wanted to farm his jungle, knows it's pretty safe from up here. Already has the ward in the lower river, so he can actually shade towards that side and stay relatively safe. See Xin Zhao actually working his way back around towards this blue buff. J4 and him basically same timings now, trying to clear out this buff, although J4 going to go back now. Xin Zhao getting that long sword with his boots and still has some decent pots, so it looks like he's actually dialing up some pressure down bottom, which their wards have actually faded off, so this actually could work out for them in this bottom push. We see him work in here, and Tarek going back to reward, and Xin Zhao's going to come in now, and looks like into bedtime just going to get right in there, getting really greedy, seeing a kill on Sona, then realizes that Xin Zhao is there, Knockup's going to go on to win, Flash going to be blown, and Ezreal doesn't have any mana to follow this up, so it's going to be a little bit of poke back from Intimate Bedtime on his way out, and Bunbo waiting to possibly re-engage here, crossing over, and they've kind of spotted out here, still do have a ward, and Vlad is actually rotated down as well, but it looks like he might be a little bit far away, but no, he's able to pick up First Blood. Xin Zhao not quick enough to get out of that one, and nice little rotation there, being able to pick up a kill. Morgana just left in mid lane, trying to push against him, but I think he'll be able to get back there pretty quickly and still be able to pick up some of that CS.
Yeah, I think Vlad had the flash there for that kill. Probably worth it, I guess. Flash for the First Blood. Probably could have been avoided, but it was good of him to actually get out of lane. The MII call didn't come out quick enough, and Vlad was able to pick that up.
Yeah, I think it was just a lot of extended commitment too, without a lot of bang for a buck. And there we see Morgana rotating up as well, but it's going to be really hard. Again, she has to land a Dark Binding to get anything on him, and Shogath might fall here. Ignite is going to take that last time. Soul Shackle is going to proc just to use that last auto attack. Nicely done by Icy, able to capitalize after that kill. But as we can kind of see here, mechanically, just Intimate Bedtime just a little bit better at farming in lane. They've had a lot of pressure in all their lanes, and it's really worked out for them. Most of them about 20 CS ahead in pretty much every lane so far, even after those kill trades. So right now, they're looking like they have a little bit of an upper hand here, but I still do think that Pilot still has a good chance here. As long as they can just kind of hang around, stay relatively even, they should be okay. But already falling down 2K really early in this one, about 7 minutes and 30 seconds in.
So we'll probably see Jarvan. He's now we're in this next set of buffs. It looks like he definitely doesn't need to donate this to anybody. You've got Akali in mid, Manaless, Akali top Manaless, you've got Vlad mid, Manaless. So Jarvan's going to enjoy just having blue buff. It's going to be extra experience for him, extra cooldown reduction in the mana region. He's level 6 now, so I would expect to see him make a play, possibly in mid if they can force that Black Shield. We're going to ult still down for...
Jackie just walking out. Actually, a lot of damage going on to Bumba. As a lot of his ganks, he's getting more punishment in the trade with a 2v1 gank than Vlad's actually taking in response. Vlad just sustains right through it. J4 now waiting in the wings, possibly to go in there. They actually do have that ward by Raise, which actually is going to see J4 start to cross out into this midsection. and back into his own jungle. So nice little information there, nice little forward wards by them. And Vlad's still pushing Morgana very, very hard here, and it's really working out for him. He's going to have a huge item advantage when he does actually finally decide to go back. Still hasn't actually gone back. Actually has 1 ward left and a lot of CS, and now we see a lot of aggression coming in, a lot of focus on the Emeralds. He's going to be able to stand up just a little bit and see Zinzao make his round back here. He's only level 4 still, so don't know how much effect he's actually going to be able to have here, unless he has some more backup until his lane can actually get out some ults and they can actually start to really fight this one out. But right now, at least in this early stage, looks like the advantage going to
I mean, and that's a problem. As a jungler, you have to realize when you're behind, you should be staying equal level with the bot lane. And if you're 2 levels behind the enemy bot lane, you're not going to have. And in this case, he's actually 2 levels behind the enemy jungler. So at this point, he really needs to kind of stay in the jungle. He's got to hope that his solo lanes can survive and play safe, because he's got to catch up. At least hit level 5. 6 is not going to help him out a whole lot more with his ult, but at least he can, he needs to either be in an area to counter gank for Jarvan, because Jarvan's now 6. Jarvan's going to be able to make a play in any lane. Cataclysm is going to be that strong, and so Zin's just got to be wary. He's going to be, he's got to catch up, because if he comes into a fight and he's going to be level 2 levels down, he's just going to be instantly picked. He is for this team's front line.
The farm fest actually just kind of continues here. I mean, Akali really doesn't care to go too much in on Cho'Gath. She's winning pretty heavily in that lane. We see Zinzao returning still level 4 and just kind of wasting a lot of time just coming down, trying to relieve pressure from lanes, and not really working out for them so far. It's gonna be a big problem as we get farther along in this game for them.
Yeah, it looks like Cho'Gath here out of mana, not really able to make a play. If his rupture goes down, Akali's going to punish him, especially if that rupture misses. So I think right now what we're waiting is Akali's waiting for Cho'Gath to push out, which is easily going to happen with the spines, and we could see Akali pick up a kill here soon. Her ignite is up. She's got full charges on her dash. I would be wary if I was Cho'Gath.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he's slowly getting whittled down here, but I mean, Akali she wants to get that big carry stats and then just basically get out of lane. Maybe wait for one of these lanes to finally get pushed. Zinzao returning yet again, level 5, and just giving Ezreal some room to farm up this, hopefully farm up underneath turret. Right now 59 CS to 80, so he's still actually keeping pace. He actually hasn't fallen that much farther behind as Intimate Bedtime's been pushing in, so not too bad here. And Sona actually has her ult now, gets pushed away, but J4 is going to come in here. This is actually going to be big trouble for Pilot, as that's a brilliant catalysm coming in here. Crescendo's going to land, but Sona is going to fall into a Bedtime, going to get that last
reset
one kill, and they might continue this one, but it looks like Zinza's going to have to back up Alice, and actually Vlad behind turret as well, possibly able to follow and stuff. They do pick up 2. They have the 4-man down there. They could just push on the tower, get another kill, or we might, yeah, it looks like they're going to go again for broke. More damage coming in, that should tick off, and they know right away he is going to fall, and they should probably close. They can either kill the tower and get the dragon, or
yeah, they should be able to pick up this tower, pick up a free dragon. And right now, Akali being such a bully in this top lane. Morgana was not really able to do much, and
going for the kill, and there it is. Finally, got him low enough. Takes a lot of turret shots to min the aggro, but doesn't matter. And next time she goes back and comes back to lane, Cho'Gath's just going to have a hard time. Typically it's hard to get this far up, but kind of as I expected, those MVP lanes for Coralice are just kind of coming through against Pilot, and it's going to make it really, really hard on them. I don't think there's a lot of damage in the team comp for Pilot left after they get out of this phase and they start team fighting, so I foresee a lot of trouble for them going forward.
So right now they know Dragon's down. They have that information. They know it probably went down with them. So, as a younger player or newer to the game, one of the things that you can work on are timings. Knowing your jungle timings for the resource buffs. Wow, Zen's still not 6. The dragon timers and of course Baron timers, because those are those objectives that can allow you to get back in the game. If you start to fall behind, because they're such static objectives, you can really understand or get an idea.
Nice catch by Morgana. But pulled right away, and now we're going to see him get locked up here. Flash is not going to get him away. So nice kill there and a flash by Morgana. And probably was scared that maybe she thought Zinzao was actually an enemy or something, but or someone was coming in.
A pinning flash.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those flash. I like to call it, like, you know, where someone flashes and they hope like the wind puts out the ignite. It's like one of those flashes.
Well, she did survive. Unfortunately, she did blow a summoner spell.
That does happen.
Or did blow flash, which means, you know, and when we were talking about earlier timings, the other thing they can do to get better is communication. Easily, you can say, Jarvan, Morgana's flash is down. Or, I mean, and basically that's Jarvan's signal for, hey, I'm going to show up in mid lane and it's the free kill. There's nothing she's going to do. She's going to take the brunt of the damage. And in reverse, you could say, if you're a mid laner and you just popped your lost your flash, you can say, look, my flash is down. I'm going to either have to play safe, you know, I'm going to need extra wards, and also tell your jungler, hey, I'm vulnerable, so we maybe need to set up a counter gank, and Shogath is just going to get bullied
yeah, I mean,
by the
down
Sakali.
50 CS, 2 kills. It's going to be a rough time for him. I mean, as soon as they can dial up with Sakali to actually get out of this top lane into team fights, it's going to be pretty brutal. She's already diving on her turret, is going to be able to pick up the kill. There's another one taking a lot of aggro on the way out. Eventually, you know, she's going to want to be able to take down this turret so that she can actually get out in and take down some people. They're going to be worth gold, because now it's getting to the point where Cho'Gath's going to become less and less valuable for her to pick off in lane.
And then just, because we are lower bracket, we know
going all in here. Dazzle coming in, followed by the Cataclysm. Zinzao ults to get out, but there's the reset from Intimate Bedtime. Going to pick up another kill, and now it's just Ezreal left alone underneath turret to try to live, and they can possibly just dial up some more pressure to keep pushing him underneath turret if he tries to stick around there in this next wave. But it looks like J4 actually backing off into his own jungle. Might pick up red, and again, my name is Jay getting caught again by a Dark Binding. Was dodging him pretty well earlier, but now not so much anymore. And look at that damage come in here. Huge bench for Intimate Bedtime. Has that red buff. Arcane Shift out of there to try to get a little bit more distance. Exhaust being blown as well to try to slow him down. Thing get that. And now it looks like this top turret will be able to be taken down by about time. And now that that has happened, now
and her Akali's Ignite is back up. So I think we're going to see Cho'Gath die probably one more time in the near future. Possibly more, but for certain
we're going to see him die more, I can guarantee you.
Once she gets the harass down.
Yeah, there's the miss by the Rupture. Now he's just going to re-engage. Just a little bit there on his combo.
Yeah, if he comes back with less than 75% health, he's toast. But one of the things I was saying is, because we know we're in the lower bracket, we understand, you know, mechanically these players aren't going to be, you know, the diamond players that we've seen in some of our other matches. So these are great opportunities to go back, watch your game, learn, possibly pick up some information on how to wish to get better. I think if I were running this same composition and I were jungling Zen, I try to think, where do I have the most CC, because that's where I'm going to do the most damage. As a bruiser jungler, I actually bring damage to the table, and I'm just not like a Mumu where I run in and press R. So, you know, Mumu still does a little bit of damage, but it's not quite the amount of damage that Zenzao brings to the table. So, you know, I'm looking at my top lane and I'm thinking, wow, Cho'Gath has AoE silence. He's got Rupture, which is a knock-up and a slow. And at level 6+, he's got an Execute. And there's quite a bit of damage. So, you know, I'm thinking, where would I want to gank that would make most sense? Where do I have the most kill potential? And, you know, I think, you know, yeah, it was great they stole red. They didn't have a real successful gank bot. Zinzao fell behind. But if I'm looking for places to make a gank, I think I just grab a pink ward and gank Akali and just camp her. Yeah. Until to the point where that, hey, my Cho'Gath is, you know, he's beefy, he's a fed, he's a head,
and
but he can survive.
Caught out here, flash over the wall, very nice. He needs a lot of cooldowns, but the chase after is gonna be good. Now they're actually gonna take this blue buff, and Ezreal hanging around Dragon. He's actually gonna Arcane Shift over the back of the wall, blue pill from the brush on his way out.
And so blue buff should go down here. It looks like they're gonna give it to Vlad. He's gonna enjoy a little bit of cooldown reduction. Which is not needed so much, but it looks like they possibly have a good dragon timer here, so if dragon does spawn here in the near future, they'll go ahead and get that dragon. I would also expect at this point, Akali super ahead, Jarvan still can set up for an excellent Cataclysm. You've got Vlad that's really hit his prime right now in terms of just shoving waves, and in terms of amount of damage, it's only going to increase from this point on. So I would not be afraid. I would not these guys don't decide to group up and just start taking even bigger objectives.
Scary moment for them. Wolves is not worth it at this point. Bunny's going to flash out over the wall. No chance is going to come in. A lot of focus actually going on to Tarek. They will be able to feast on him. So nice little pick off there, but the rest of the team was focused somewhere else. And yeah, good little bandit action. Now they're going to collapse back on this dragon. And when they come in here, might be a little bit of trouble for them. I think they have a little bit of confidence after that pick off, but I think with the loot they do have could turn this pretty well, but they just need to make sure they don't eat all the CC and keep their carries in good positions. But Ezreal getting stalked a little bit here.
That was a great rupture. It actually hit 2 players. I think they want to time. What they should try to work on is timing a rupture with a Morgana binding. Right now they're just throwing out these random abilities.
Kali title back line to Ezreal. Goodbye. Goodbye, sir. Oh man. Don't want to be away from your front line in that kind of situation. And after that pick off, now they have the confidence to go in here and pick up this dragon. Well earned by them and got bot lane pushing, so it looks like Zendad's going to be able to clean that up. Get a little bit of XP and gold for himself. Help him catch up just a little bit. But yeah, right now, we're sitting here, 10k lead at almost 20 minutes into the game that we're nearing around here. And the advantage that Intimate Bedtime's team wanted to build so they didn't have to worry about the tanky CC lineup that they're going to start to run into now that we're in the mid-game. So
Vlad's going to head back and shop. I think he's going to finish Abyssal Scepter here. And once that's completed, his ult's going to be up here in about 15-20 seconds. Combine that with a Cataclysm, and they does so much damage that a Kali can then turn around and clean up in a team fight, or Tristana can clean up. I think they're going to possibly force either a Baron or another turret objective. Right now, top lane's sort of pushing, so either go top lane or bot. I mean, right now, I think their whole strategy is, what I would be doing in this scenario is if I'm ahead, is I want to group up and I want to start forcing fights. Because even if it doesn't go all the way in our favor, like maybe we get trade 2 for 1, as long as we come out ahead, and then we're gonna go ahead and take an objective, and then do wash, rinse, repeat. They don't have much of a siege comp, but they still do have Tristana. Tristana does quite a bit of damage to turrets with the attack speed steroid. And yeah, here we go. They're gonna go ahead and rotate up. They're gonna pick off red buff. And if the enemy team decides that they want to transition poorly from one lane to another, they might get picked up.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, though, since they actually do... there's a ward there. Now, they're being a little bit sneaky about it, trying to hide in that nook, but I believe Pilot knows very, very well what Coralice is up to, and they're just going to keep it safe, rotate around the outside, group up at that turret, and they got bottom lane pushing, so that bot lane is going to do a little bit of damage in favor of Coralice. On that bot side, mid lane should be pushing soon, actually, as well. So, this is the look you want later on in the game. Get all your lanes pushing. Another catch on to Vlad, eating a lot of AoE CC and all that good stuff. And I
don't know if they're going to force a fight here or not.
I don't think... the turret's still pretty strong at this point. They actually get a good catch on Intimate Bedtime. They kill him right away. Now they're going in. There's all that AoE CC, and Intimate Bedtime falling asleep a little bit here. Black Shield is going to be able to go down, and Vlad trying to deal as much damage as he can. He gets a lot of members low, and Akali doing work those carries, being super, super strong now. And now Cho'Gath's in dire straits here. Might be dead. It looks like it could be at least 4 kills going down, although we are going to see Kali fall as well after that triple kill. But now Vlad's going to be able to slow push turret. Unfortunately, Vlad does not do a lot of damage to turret, so this is going to take him a while.
But again, 4 for 4. It's still going to put some damage here on this turret. Actually probably worked out in favor of the red team because they were picking up kill sprees in the process. But I mean, that's the price you pay at this point. They're still stronger. They can still force fights. They came out even in that fight, maybe a little behind. It was unfortunate that Tristana got caught, but if that had worked out the other way, maybe Vlad dies and Tristana doesn't. Tristana then takes that turret.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they don't. I think they're going to realize, like, whoa, we just got caught. Are we about to throw this game? And they're going to like, oh, well, we're still up a bunch of kills. We're still up a bunch of turrets.
Well, the previous game we saw them, they almost threw the game. They get up a 4 for 1 and Dragon, but still came back and won their group stage game. So I think maybe they need a little, maybe they're a little bit of a Forrest Griffin to make an MMA reference. They need to get punched in the face a little bit before they they get going here. They're a little confident in there, and maybe that'll sober them up here because really. They need to be a little bit humbled because that catch, Vlad getting caught, not so bad. He has a lot of ways to get out of it. He's working towards an hourglass, so as soon as that's finished, he'll be even better to beat the enemy team. But you can't have Intimate Bedtime go down just because he is going to be that key component that whenever you do have a team fight after the dust settles, you want him up so you can get maximum bang for your buck and punish as hard as you can. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit harder for the other champions in here, but about time. He's been doing some serious work this game. Got that huge advantage on top lane. He's 8-2-1. Has the Gunblade, has Hourglass. He's going to be a lot of trouble to deal with, too. Once he can dive that backline, kill someone, and then Hourglass, right as they turn to focus, even if they want to, can even dive turrets, and it's going to be a real menace in here. The best way for them to actually have any chance of getting him is going to be catching him in a lot of this CC scrum, between the silences and all this AoE damage, hopefully underneath the turret, but otherwise in the open ground, he's going to basically be unkillable and be diving around and killing everybody.
Yeah, right now, again, kind of a point in which the red team is turtled up. Morgana does enough damage to the creep waves that there is enough wave clear. Combined with Cho'Gath Rupture and or AoE Silence, they've got a pretty decent wave clear. So what they want to do is probably focus on split pushing. I would probably send Akali because Akali can 1v1 just about anybody on that team.
Yeah,
and then
probably more.
Here's what you think. You can use J4 to disengage. You can use Tristana's Buster Shot to disengage. And they don't have a whole lot of... they do have maybe a Flash Crescendo or a really good Rupture for engagement. But if you just stay back and push with 4 and split maybe Akali top, because Akali will do damage to structure. She is a hybrid.
Yeah.
And she can 1v1 anybody. And if they send more than that, then you just AoE or 4, and then you AoE team fight, or you team fight 4v3. Alternatively, they can get bot lane pushing, and then they can make a play possibly near Baron. There's a lot of options they can do to really, increase their advantage. Right now, it's just, we've kind of stalled out. They're kind of thinking of what they should be doing, or what's the next best play, or which team's going to make the next mistake.
Yeah, a lot of teams are going to have a dragon. This is actually a fight that they want. If this does go down, True Shot Bravo is going to fly across, and we are going to see the landing catch. A nice Cataclysm. They're going to hold a lot of the beefy members in there. Soul Shackle will be able to get off. It looks like it will be thanks to that Hourglass, and now they're going to re-engage in here, and there we see the members doing work, but they were able to pick off Akali right away, but it looks like it doesn't matter. They still have to start up. Going to be able to chase down Emeralds right here, and that is going to be the ace as they press in here. Triple kill for Intimate Bedtime, and that is a fight they wanted. They were stronger. And unless the perfect CC laid down, the saving grace was that they were able to pick up Akali in that and all of that collateral damage. But now they're going to lose turrets and an inhibitor probably here. They're going to be trying to come as fast as possible, but Intimate Bedtime's going to get this up. So maybe we'll see them home guard up and come out with Ferocity to try to defend this, or it might fall and be that's that big huge opening that a lot of teams need to have that auto-pushing mid lane to free up the other lane so they can start to close out the game. And it really jumps them really far ahead. We see Rupture land, and now the engagement by Zinzao trying to get in there, and now it's basically just beat feet time. As long as Intimate Bedtime stays safe, they're pretty much golden here. They're going to need to have some way to get to him. This front line is not going to be whittled down too hard by what they have left. And you see Intimate Bedtime just poke in there as he can as they rotate out of this, using that superior attack range. Dark Brian's going to miss on the way out, and now that Akali's back up, now it gets even scarier. Ping's going down towards that bot lane, already pushing for him. But I think the rest of the team might back off here. It looks like, a lot of key members backing off. And only Intimate Bedtime just kind of being a little cocky here. Just hanging in there.
He doesn't have cleanse right now, so... he could be baiting it. I think Vlad's ult's not up. It could be that they're just kind of pressuring their odds.
Look, there's a tark here. Oh, wow. They just leave him for dead. No follow-up there. Like, yeah, you're dead. There's baiting, and then there's you're dead. So good pick off for them. It's going to work out for them. And Vlad looks like he's just farming up Raise now, so standing up actually has a pretty decent amount of sustain. Should see him probably move into the Hourglass here pretty soon for him. And then there's going to be just a lot of invulnerable people to get through a lot of the time damage of this AoE comp. And after that, they just don't have a lot of oomph left for their AoE comp. And there's too many threats that if they leave, it's pick your poison, basically, at this point, going against this Coralice team. Like, someone's going to live, and that person's going to tear you down in the end.
So I got to... While we have a quick lull in this ebb and flow of back and forth mid lane action,
yeah.
Want to point out Tarek's name Hoyin Gyoma, I believe, is from a recent anime I was watching.
Oh, exciting!
So, just go ahead and throw it out there to anybody else tuned in and likes anime. I'm sure we've got a lot of players that are, they watch a little bit of anime now.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of character names that are out there that are anime based. So, I believe that's a Steins Gate main characters.
Yeah, check it out. I think I'm gonna go check that one out myself on your recommendation.
Yeah, I think you should.
What about this Sword Art Online one?
Yeah, Sword Art Online.
But yeah, we have a pretty good match in here. Pilot, just kind of trying to defend this one out. Their comp has kind of run out of gas. It's one of those comps that has to kind of stay even. They could kind of hope for Ezreal to help him out at this point, but he's not quite the carry to take on someone like a Tristana, who's more of a hyper carry in this late game. So out there, kind of behind, they're kind of running out of tools in their toolbox to be able to deal with Coralice. Once they decide to go for the jugular, it looks like they're going to rotate onto this bottom turret and take that. And I think if they get met out in the open field, could be even dived on at this point. We'll have to see how it actually works out. They have a lot of ways to trade off tower aggro with hourglasses, and it looks like we're not even going to see a response from Pilot to defend this bottom turret. Kind of rotating over, but really they just need to defend their base turrets at this point. These outer turrets are just going to be death traps for them.
So they have one more opportunity. They want to be able to stack all their CC. The reason why I say one more opportunity is because if one more team fight goes really unfortunate in their favor, they could be...
And Tarek eating a lot of harass again. Clearly, the problem with Tarek's build is he needs to go hourglass, and this is trouble. This is trouble. In comes Vlad. There's all of 4 members of the enemy team, or at least 3. Now they're coming in here with a lot of damage. Ivy's going to get off the Soul Shackle. It's pretty good here. Tarek actually going to get out of this one. Crescendo coming in the back line, trying to do some work, and Morgana is going to hourglass, but that's only going to let her live for a couple more seconds as the rest of the team goes in. The route is on. Akali actually diving to minions to chase down the remaining members of the enemy team, going for that Sona right now, and that is going to be a double kill. Nicely done by them, and they should be able to close out this tower. Some more inhibitors, and possibly this game, as we're sitting here with 20 more second timers. They could actually head into these Nexus turrets, but it looks like they're actually going to get this inhibitor first.
Take this inhibitor because it's there.
Because
it's on the way.
Just in case things go horribly wrong, in case there's some Windows updates.
That's true. But yep, congratulations to
Team Coralice.
They're going to be moving on, and they're going to be moving into the semifinals of the lower bracket.
Yeah, so props to them. And next we will be bringing you the upper bracket, and that game should be, I believe, Triumphant Rise versus FTU, which should be a pretty stellar game, and 2 very, very strong teams as we go along here. Again, shout out to Memory Express, RCCS, Battlefy, of course, which we are running this tournament on, and all our sponsors that have come out here. Of course, eSpot for the hosting venue.
Shameless plug. Go raise your weapon. I'm just kidding. RYW. RYW.
All right, so we will be bringing upper back